The Bench by the Sea, a story of rediscovering purpose after 70. He sat on the same bench every morning. Same time, same spot, facing the cold sea that stretched endlessly before him. His name was Arthur Hale, a 74-year-old widower who had lived in the same coastal town for nearly 5 decades. People in the neighborhood knew him as the quiet man with the newspaper. But what they didn't know was that the newspaper was always from 3 months ago. Arthur wasn't reading the news anymore. He was reading time, trying to remember what life felt like when he was part of it. After his wife Margaret passed away, his house had become too quiet. The ticking of the old clock echoed like thunder in an empty room. He had children, but they lived hours away, busy, successful, always just about to visit. Loneliness had a way of sneaking in softly. First, it came through the evenings, then through the mornings, until one day, even the sound of his own breathing started to feel too loud. So Arthur made the bench his company. He'd sit there for hours, feeding the birds, watching the waves, and wondering, what is a man supposed to do when no one needs him anymore? One windy morning, a boy appeared beside the bench. He couldn't have been more than 9. A red scarf around his neck and a sketchbook under his arm. "Do you mind if I sit?" the boy asked. Arthur nodded. The boy opened his sketchbook and began drawing the sea. His small hands trembled slightly from the cold, but his eyes sparkled with focus. "What are you drawing?" Arthur asked. "The waves," the boy said without looking up. "I'm trying to catch the way they move." Arthur smiled. "They never stay still long enough, do they?" The boy shook his head. "That's what makes them fun." It was a simple exchange, but something about it stayed with Arthur. That night, for the first time in months, he couldn't sleep. Not because of sadness, but because something small and warm had woken inside him. The next day, he returned to the bench earlier than usual. The boy was there again. This time, he was drawing the sky.
If you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you are here. And if you have not subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your supports helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you.
Arthur asked if he could see the sketches. The boy showed him page after page, full of clumsy, beautiful lines. Arthur noticed something else. On one page, in shaky handwriting, the boy had written, "For Mum, when she feels better." Arthur didn't ask, but he understood. For the next several weeks, the boy, Eli, and the old man shared the same bench every morning. Arthur brought crumbs for the birds. Eli brought pencils for his art, and slowly, without realizing it, Arthur began to laugh again. He told Eli stories about his wife's cooking, his days at sea, his garden that once smelled of roses. Eli listened as if every word was gold, and in those quiet conversations, Arthur found what he had been missing. Purpose. Not a grand one, not a mission or a dream, just the purpose of being needed, being heard, being alive. One morning, Eli didn't show up, nor the next day, nor the one after that. Arthur sat alone again, the waves crashing harder than usual. He worried, though he didn't know where the boy lived. The bench felt empty, colder than before. A week later, a woman approached him, holding a small envelope. "Are you Mr. Hale?" she asked softly. She introduced herself as Eli's mother. She explained that Eli had been in the hospital. His health had weakened, but he was recovering. "He wanted me to give you this," she said, handing him the envelope. Arthur opened it slowly. Inside was a drawing, the bench by the sea with 2 figures sitting side by side. Below it, written in uneven letters, "For Mr. Hale, my best friend who made the waves smile again." Arthur's eyes blurred. The sea, the sky, the bench, everything melted into one soft vision of gratitude. That night, Arthur sat by his window for hours. And for the first time in years, he prayed, not for himself, but for the little boy who had unknowingly saved him. From that day onward, the old man didn't just sit on the bench. He cleaned it, painted it, added flowers nearby. He even fixed the broken plank so it wouldn't creak when someone new sat down. Whenever children passed by, he'd smile and wave. Sometimes he'd tell them stories. Sometimes he'd just listen, and slowly something magical began to happen. The lonely bench became a meeting place. For joggers, readers, dreamers, wanderers, people who had no one to talk to found someone waiting. They began calling it the talking bench. Arthur never corrected them. He just smiled, knowing that somewhere a little boy's drawing had brought life back to the sea and to his heart. Years later, when Arthur passed away peacefully in his sleep, the town decided to place a plaque on that very bench. It read, "To Arthur Hale, who reminded us that loneliness fades when kindness begins. And every morning, if you visit that seaside town, you'll still find someone sitting there, a stranger, a friend, maybe even a child, talking softly to the waves, carrying on the quiet legacy of an old man who rediscovered purpose by simply sharing a seat." Morale. Sometimes, purpose doesn't come from doing big things. It comes from being present for someone, and even a stranger, because the smallest connection can turn the deepest loneliness into light.
If you are still watching this video and finding these valuable insights, please comment number 5 below to let me know you are here. And if you have not subscribed, yet I reminded you subscribe and turn on the bell so you miss any video. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you.